Hello everybody, it's Anthony here from Abracadabra Blow. Super excited to have the craziest person that I know on with us today. That's Jonathan Goodwin. How are you doing today, Jonathan? You okay?
I'm great, thank you, buddy. Yeah, I'm really good.
Wonderful, that's what it's all about. So what have you been up to over these last 12 months then?
Not a lot. What have I been doing? Well, I was on tour in March. We were actually probably, the show that I was in was probably one of the last shows to stop. And it all kind of came to a grinding halt. And so all of a sudden I was back, and I had been asked a lot to go and do the America's Got Talent show, and I'd always never done it, primarily because I never had time. You know, those shows don't pay you any money, and but they do require a lot of your time. And so I'd always said no, and then all of a sudden I had a lot of time on my hands, so I decided to do that, which was an interesting experience, actually. I had done the Britain's Got Talent show the year before, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. The America's Got Talent show was less enjoyable for a number of different reasons, and partly because they were doing it during a pandemic. So it was just, I think it was almost like they were making the show for the first time, because all of the different rules and all of the different things that they had to, the hoops that they had to jump through. And so consequently it was a challenge, but I was proud of some of the things that we did. So I did that, and then other kind of cool little projects that I've been working on. I'm sort of launching a new business as well at the minute, which I'm excited about.
Right.
So yeah,
you have to tell us all about that in a little.
Keeping myself out of mischief.
Yeah, keeping yourself busy. So we obviously watched you over here on America's Got Talent as well, because I remember seeing you on Britain's Got Talent, and then we watched America's Got Talent as well, me and my wife. So we were keeping an eye on it. It's just absolutely crazy. I think you was you hanging from your mouth, weren't you, across? Mind blowing, yeah. And then did you bury yourself alive in the American Got Talent when you?
No, we did. So I did 3 spots. We did a thing that I created, and I actually did on the Britain's Got Talent show with crossbows, where I'm blindfolded and dodging them as they're firing at me.
Yeah.
And then we did a new fire escape, which is for a long time. I did an escape where I was in a straitjacket, hanging upside down and set alight, and I wanted a new version, but it's not an easy thing to get right. And I created this sort of contraption where I'm in a standing position, handcuffed, my head restrained as well, and then completely set alight. And I was really excited about it. And we did this really great test. And then when we went to do it on the day, we kind of got boned by the wind, and it just didn't look great. I mean, it was okay, and I got through, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It was pretty touch and go, that, actually, especially because it didn't go according to plan. We had sort of worked out that I had a certain amount of time with when the ropes would burn through, and it went wrong, and two of them went at the same time. They should have been staggered. So then now I have all my weight on one line, which is compromised. And so I did not know when that was going to go, for sure. It could very easily have gone early. I was very relieved to get to the other side of that.
I bet as well. I think we all were. when you got to the end. But it was amazing, though.
Oh,
Absolutely amazing. I think Simon Cowell said something about you, because he was saying at first, wasn't he, that he knows you from over here and all that, and he said something about you, the craziest person that he's ever known. Yeah. Which is a great compliment.
It is. There's one for the website, isn't it?
Considering the amount of people they must see, to be the craziest one out of them all.
It's an interesting machine. I sort of they you know, you can sort of, a lot of people sort of grumble about it, and I think for a long time they were sort of, they fought magic a little bit, and then I think they realized that actually there's this vast seam of potential material, because, you know, a singer's just going to sing another song, whereas you know, a magician or a variety performer that works in the way that we work, we can come with, and that's one of the things that they said to me. It's like, you know, one of the things that's most impressive, I think it was Heidi Klum that said that everything that you do is completely different. Like, we never know what we're going to get, and that's what you get, you know, with the scope of what we do. You can be creative and really change things up, and obviously ultimately it's a variety show. We bring variety. So we have a studio now, and we're building our first experience for the public. It's called Claustrophobia, and essentially what it is me in an environment. And what I realized is, as soon as I don't know if you've ever done an escape room. As soon as you take the public out of it, there's never any real stakes or jeopardy in an escape room. You know, the worst thing that happens if you don't get out, or if you don't solve the thing, is that some spotty kid comes and tells you what you got wrong, and that's kind of it. Whereas as soon as you take the public out of it, you can have real stakes, you know. And so I'm in an environment, and people have to help me get out by interacting with me live in order that I don't die. That's basically the idea. So anyone can play anywhere in the world, and the company is called Live Action Escape Rooms, and we're going to be launching Claustrophobia in the next couple of weeks.
Did you say that you don't do other people's things? However, you do have a little bit of help, don't you, from your daughter? She comes up with a lot of the ideas for your stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She's always pitching me stuff. 9 times out of 10, those things are way more dangerous than I would ever attempt, or would never work in the real world. Like, you know, they quite often they obey an 8-year-old's concept of physics and engineering. Well, an 8-year-old's idea of physics usually is based in the world of cartoons and animation, and obviously that doesn't quite work out a lot of the time. But no, she's great, and she really enjoys. She's grown up with it, you know. She'll heckle me. She'll be like, "More fire, Daddy." You know,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. She's never really been sort of particularly scared or worried about what I do. She knows that I know what I'm doing. So yeah, that's all good fun.
So if she grew up and she turned around and said, "Right, Dad, I've decided I want to do what you do," what would you say?
I would think I would be a hypocrite if I said no, because I just, you know, people find their own path. I think it is most unlikely that she will end up doing what I do. She's a bit of a fraidy cat, actually. She's not the bravest thing in the world. Although, having said that, about a year ago, my mum took her to a country, like the state fair here, and she did a high fall. She came off a 20-foot platform into an airbag, which I wasn't there. I was not. I would never have said that she would do that. She did. The kind of fall. In stunts we call it suicide, where you basically jump and go down to your back, and she did it.
most dangerous thing you've done, Jonathan?
Oh, goodness me.
Because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot. I've been in this for a long time. I don't know. It really depends on usually it's the closest that you get to coming unstuck is not the thing that you've trained for. That's like, oh my gosh, this is clearly very dangerous, like hanging from your toes from a helicopter, or, having crossbows fired directly at your chest. Because those are things that when you go, okay, I'm going to do a dangerous thing, then all of the different elements of planning and preparation and training and all of those things come into play. And so by and large, you take everything into consideration. And the times that are really dangerous are the times where you go, I'll just do this, it'll be all right. And because it's maybe not quite as overtly dangerous, and so you think, oh, well, it's fine, we just do that, and then there's all of those things that you didn't think about. And to give you a good example of that, I made a series. The reason I moved to America is I made a series for Discovery Channel out here, which was called One Way Out, and we were doing lots and lots of different escape stunts. And I would do in between, like every time it cut to commercial, there was an ad break. Before the ad break, I would say, remember, I'm a professional, don't try this at home. Yeah. And then I'd do something really stupid, like take a bowling ball to the nuts or something. It was quite jackassy in its style, that show. And we would never really plan them. We would just, the producer would say, hey, what can we do for a don't try this at home? And I'd go, oh, let's do, whatever. And we were filming a thing where I was tied up to an office chair and fired into the middle of a lake with a giant slingshot. And so that was the stunt that we were there to do. And so, but we had the lake. And so the producer's like, well, let's don't try this at home. And so I said, oh, okay. Well, there was like a little pier, like a little dock. And I said, let's tie me to a breeze block. And I'll say, don't try this at home, and then just jump in. And then the water will just go still. And then that'll be it. We'll cut to the ad break. And so they got me a breeze block. And it's not a real escape. There's no audience. It's just a gag. So I was like, I don't actually have to be tied to it. So what I did was I said, it was one of those breeze blocks that's got two holes in it at the top and bottom.
Yeah.
And I got two pieces of rope and I tied one to this wrist, one to this wrist. They both went through the breeze block. And then I said to my mate, just tuck them in the back of my trousers so that I'm not tied up, Great. So I just go, don't try this at home, when I jump in. Now, the mistake I made was the guy that I told them to tuck into the back of my trousers was an idiot. And he misunderstood what I meant. And he tied the two ropes together to the back of my trousers. So now I'm actually tied up to a cinder block, but I don't know it. And I jump in and I go straight to the bottom. And so then I go to get out and I can't, I'm tied up. So then I think to myself, I wonder if I can swim to the surface holding a breeze block. And so I tried that and I got probably that close to the surface and then went straight back down to the bottom. And then I thought, well, I'm weighted because I'm holding a breeze block. I wonder if I can just walk out, along the bottom, because I wasn't that far from the edge. It was quite sort of, and so I took about 3 or 4 steps and then I was like, it was like a needle record scratch moment. I was like, hang on, what am I doing? I'm an escape artist. Let's escape. And so I did, and I came to the surface. The safety diver was literally like in midair about to come in and get me because I've probably been underwater for about 2 minutes. So yeah, those are the moments where you go, let's do that, it'll be all right. I made a series for the BBC, which was called The Incredible Mr. Goodwin. Almost 10 years ago now. we did 2 water stunts in that. There was a thing where I was tied to a canal lock, at the bottom of a canal lock that we flooded, and then the one that was kind of a bit more intense was a thing where we went out into a lake and I was tied to a weight. It was like a jerry can full of sand,
right.
And we pitched over the side and went, and then that was really deep. It was like probably 60 feet down. So yeah, a lot of stupid stuff.
Mom, I'm gonna be fine. Lock the box.
Oh God.
Oh no.
I know, look.
So he can't even see the locks that he's picking.
No.
And that was a padlock, Heidi?
Yeah. I don't want to see this.
Light the fuse in 3, 2, 1, now.
Oh no.
Oh, it's fast. What did he say, 20 seconds?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Where's that going? Where's that
Oh no,
going?
that's going too fast.
That is fast.
That's going to be faster than 20 seconds. I don't think it's...
I don't know.
This doesn't look... Uh-oh. Are you...
I don't know.
Well, he's totally surrounded now.
And now what?
Now call somebody. No! He's on fire.
No.
Somebody move in.
Oh, that is scary.
Why is everybody just standing? Oh, he's out. He's up. Somebody put it out.
Is there a limit? Is there a point where you go, this is too stupid, this is just far too daft, far too dangerous? Or will you just keep on pushing yourself and pushing yourself?
I haven't found it, I don't think. So the nature of this stuff is that your reaction to, my reaction to a lot of it is, shit, that's, I mean, less so now because I'm more experienced, but I would think, oh my God, that's really difficult. And obviously over the course of my career, things have got bigger and more stupid. But as a general rule, by the time I get to do it, I'm so familiar with what it is and what the limitations of the stunt are, that it becomes less scary as that process goes on. And so there isn't anything that I go, I would never do that, unless I did all of that work and I was still like, this is too big a risk, but I haven't ever got there. I've never not found a way to make something survivable consistently. Early in my career, I was a lot more reckless. I wasn't as good at it yet, and so I took. What that means is that I took more risks. And in the early part of my career, that's when I got injured. I broke my leg doing a stunt, and got quite badly burned as well. I did the very first time I did the inverted straitjacket escape. I got really badly burned, actually. It's quite funny. I performed the premiere of me hanging upside down completely on fire was at the Download Rock Festival. Right. And I was booked to replace a sword swallower who refused to go on because they're quite a rough crowd. and someone had thrown a chair at him. And so he's like, I don't need that.
No.
And so that was, they told me that, and they were like, we want you. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. So I did the escape, and we did it. I'm hanging upside down. Ostensibly, basically, I'm hanging upside down. I'm doused in fuel, and in a straitjacket, and then set a light, and I have to escape and grab a CO2 thing and put myself out. But the first time I did it, it was great, perfect. Crowd went wild. Nobody threw anything at me. It was good, and so I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then I had to do it again, maybe an hour later for another group. And buoyed by my success, I decided that I'd, maybe showboat a little bit, and it took me I made probably another 10. I sort of decided to pretend to escape rather than actually escape for about sort of 10 to 15 seconds before I started the process, and I started to burn. And the thing about fire is, it's all fun and games, but it can go from I'm okay to I'm not okay really quickly. And I had to make a decision in that moment of, do I bail out of this and risk the wrath of the crowd, or do I just suck it up and carry on and get out? And that's what I decided to do. So yeah, I had like a tennis ball sized blister on my foot. So one of the things that I'm doing at the minute, which I'm really excited about, is a good friend of mine is a guy called Jamie Allen, has created a museum in Toronto. It's basically a museum of magic, the history of magic, and it's all COVID safe, which is really cool. They've basically designed a way that people can go through the environment, and there are live performances and like hologram performances and stuff like that. It's quite high tech, to really kind of immerse themselves in the world of magic. And it was supposed to open in December, and because of the pandemic, they had to push it, which allowed them to kind of give a moment of pause and think, okay, this thing's here. How can we make it better? How can we use the time that we can't open to make it better? And one of the things they didn't have was any kind of escape or danger act. And they were already using an image of me as one of the posters for the exhibit, which is me underwater tied up. And they said, can we do that? Can we create a water tank? So they came to me and asked me if I could help create it. It's not an easy thing to do, actually, because the exhibit is open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and the performances have to run every 15 minutes. So somebody, I said the fly, is doing a water tank escape every 15 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's extraordinary. We're just in the process of putting it together now, and it's going to be the best version of that's ever been staged. And I'm really excited about it.
Hi, my name's Jamie Allen. Welcome to the Illusionarium. This venue is unlike anything you have ever seen before. 4 rooms dedicated to 4 ages of magic. Is it a museum? Is it an exhibit? Is it a magic show? It's all of these things and so much more. Your journey back in time to the Palais Royal, where you'll see Robert Houdin and Harry Houdini in a hologram form who will read your mind. You'll go into the Egyptian Hall and see the 5 rules of magic live demonstrated by a real magician. You'll journey through the golden age of magic and see historical artifacts from all generations of magic. You'll go into On Air, our TV studio, surrounded by a multitude of television sets. You're going to see Penn and Teller, the superstars of magic, who will make magic happen in your hands. It's truly incredible. And finally, your journey into Evolution, our high-tech venue surrounded by LED walls where you'll see high-tech magic of today and tomorrow. It's like nothing you've ever seen before.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. It was great chatting with you.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, it's been brilliant. And keep safe.
All right. Thanks so much. You guys too.
Thank you. All the best.